recording, right?
I don't know. Is there a countdown? No countdown. Wafer hooked us up.
No, yeah, no countdown. Wafer's getting his rare bark in. Thanks, bud.
I got a
He said
Great Dane over
action.
here too, Trey. The
Do you?
18
How old
month
are they?
old, 18 months,
Hey, please don't.
and he is
It's okay.
he's in the room right now, and hopefully he's chill. But he's been singing. He's been howling. Does Wafer howl?
No, but apparently a lot of them do.
Yeah, this one
We
does.
were on a walk the other day, and man, this fence is probably 7 feet tall. Paws over the top of it.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
and the woman was like already coming outside, and she like saw Wafer, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I have a Great Dane too." And I was like, "Yeah, I can tell." Like, and he
and
was
look how
like, just
high
went,
this paw print.
"Ooh." Yeah, he was howling. But Wafer's small for a Great Dane,
Oh,
relatively.
interesting. I guess I've
Yeah,
only seen him with Tycho, but like, I
they're
mean,
both
that's
kind of
only
small.
still, yeah,
I underfed him as a puppy, like intentionally,
yeah.
so he wouldn't
Keep
grow
keep
because
them small.
the
It's a pro
smaller you
tip
can
for
keep
you
them, the
out
longer
there.
the smaller you keep them, the longer they
Yeah,
live. I'm sorry, I don't
yeah,
make that math. It's just the
yeah,
math. So,
yeah. The less
all
you
right,
feed them,
well,
less they grow.
yeah, exactly. All right, well, welcome or welcome back, as Blake likes to say, to the Totally Biased Music Podcast. Today, it's me and Anthony. This is nice, honestly. It's like a lot more quiet and calm. I think we've only had one of these in the past.
Between you and
Um,
I, yeah, I think so.
yeah,
We can
so
breathe really well.
yeah, it's like yeah, I don't miss him. I don't miss him at
Yeah.
all. Maybe we can
Who?
kick him out.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna kick him out. This is a duo now.
Here we go.
Uh, we are actually exploring a duo in Steely Dan today, and their I think their second album, Asia.
Hmm.
Um, and we are also exploring the movie Children of Men, which I know we are going to do the movie second, but dude, I think this might be the best movie we've ever had on this podcast.
It feels like you
Um,
keep saying that after every movie I pick, right? No.
not every movie you pick, but when you that's the thing, we've always said this, when you hit, you hit. When you miss. And this is a that movie is I've already told 3 people to go watch it.
Fuck
I
yeah.
don't know how like I missed it, but yeah, the movie is really, really good. So we'll get to
Hell
that when
yeah.
we get to it. But let's just hop right into the album. What were your initial thoughts of this? Like, what's your history with Steely Dan? Did you listen to it with your parents growing up at all? Like, what's the vibe there?
So if you'd have asked me last week, prior to picking in this album, what was my relationship with Steely Dan, I would have said I have no earthly clue who Steely Dan is or what kind of music they play. Now, that being said, after listening to the first song of this, because it's a short album, so I knew it wasn't going to be like an undertaking, and I got a taste of it, however, in between episodes. And after listening to the first song, I stopped it. I didn't recognize, like, I never heard that song before, but I'm like, God, what is happening? Like, there's a song in my head right now, but it's not that song. And it was Ricky Don't Lose That Number. You know that song? Ricky
Yeah,
Don't. So I was like, what the? And then, of course, I search, okay, what is that song? Because I've never known the name. And sure enough, that's Steely Dan. And then the wheels just started spinning. I kind of clicked through their Spotify and I was like, fuck, that's Steely Dan? I had no idea, but their sound is so distinct. I was just so surprised that I'd never connected those dots, but that was before. I definitely listened to Steely Dan before Shazam was ever a thing,
yeah.
So if no one told me, I would have never known. But so it turns out I've listened to a lot of Steely Dan, and this was a great pick. I mean, definitely surprising for me connecting those dots, but like the listening experience is fine. I mean, there wasn't any, there were some songs that like different flavor, a little more fast that I wasn't a giant fan of, but like the vocals are wild. I love their lyrics. Like I don't know what the fuck half of them are about, but like they put these words together and it makes sense. It's groovy. I mean, it's a fun time. I mean, this is good music. So great pick for me. But what about you? What this was a top? Was this a Rolling Stone pick or something like that? Top
Yeah, it was
100,
the Rolling Stone Top
something like that.
100. I can look up what number it was at, but um, so for me, Steely Dan's one of those bands that I like. It's a classic band that I discovered through like our modern music. Fish is like big fans of Steely Dan, although I wouldn't say like their sound is necessarily like super influenced by them. I think just the general like ethos. They're some of the ethos. Steely Dan's like big time perfectionist, um, and it's a duo, so it's two guys, and then they like kind of conduct and direct different different like parts of the music. I like probably listened to them on 1069 The Eagle at
Yeah.
some point. I feel like they probably had a couple hit, maybe Deacon Blues was on there at some point. Also have an album called Gaucho. I think there's like a hit that's on that album as well. But yeah, this is like one of those albums I've listened to it many many times. It's just like a really good like relaxing album. But then the more that you dig into it, the more complex and like kind of insane some of like the jazz fusion parts of it are. Some of the drums are really really interesting. The guitar work is like it's beautiful and like electric at some points. I don't mean electric guitar. I mean exciting. Um, and uh, and then at other points it's like very subdued. The instrumental piece, and we can hop right into top tracks if that's okay. Um, for the title track Asia, the instrumental piece on the last like third of this song is so fucking cool. Um, and especially like at the time, I feel like you were cutting tracks that were 3 minutes long for singles and things like that. Like this just sounds like something you're in like a smoky bar. There's like red velvet everywhere. Um, and it just
Very
kind of like
David Lynch,
takes
right?
I guess one of
Take my
those
word for
directors.
that. Take my word for
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I'm gonna watch Twin Peaks. That's like on
should
my like short list. I
do it,
know,
dude.
um, but it kind of starts in this like smoky back room type of vibe, and then like about I don't know, I'm gonna guess about 5 minutes in or so, it just starts taking off these like crazy drum beats with like a saxophone, and you're just all of a sudden like it's like a big swing. And I love that. Like it's really, really exciting. So I have that on my top track. And then I know I said we're gonna do two, but maybe I don't know.
You just gonna leave it at
Um,
one? No, come on now.
no, I was gonna say maybe I might have three.
Bring it
Deacon
on.
Blues is great. Deacon Blues is just like a fun song, and also like you gotta love the shout out to the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
They call Alabama the Crimson Tide, and they call me Deacon Blues, which I think is just like the only reason they use that lyric is like a juxtaposition.
Right.
Um,
But hey,
but
they
like the lyrics are
in the
do
seventies
what?
in the seventies, they were a great team, so
That's
that's
very
your
true. They were
example.
they were part of the zeitgeist before anyone had ever said the word zeitgeist in the 70s. So yeah, I think that song's really really cool, and for obvious reasons, Roll Tide. Um, I don't even care about Auburn
I
anymore.
know,
By the
I'm
way,
surprised.
I'm just done, man. I'm done pretending like I care. Like they suck. I didn't even like the place when I went there, so like I'm just renouncing my
Wow.
fanship.
Wow. You
You
don't
heard it
have
here
to.
first.
Okay.
I know, but
This
I
is
want to.
unprompted. Okay.
Yeah, I know. A big announcement is coming soon. And then the last song for me, Josie. First off, and there's no influence here whatsoever, so let me make that very clear. But there's a Blink 182 song called Josie, that's like one of my favorite Blink 182 songs. So when I saw this on the track list when going to listen to this, I kind of forgot like the song was even on here. But it just like hops into that immediately, like dun 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 dun. It just kind of gets you off your seat a little bit. Like if you were in a jazz club, that's something you might like stand up to go get another tequila soda with a couple extra limes. You know what I mean? Maybe an extra tequila shot for that friend that you just met down their way.
Two tequila
Um,
sodas, please.
yeah, two tequila sodas and one tequila shot. But yeah, those are my top tracks. What about you?
Okay. So not too far different. I mean, well, so I'll start at number three. I had Black Cow. It's a fun way for me to dive into this album. It's very funky, very groovy. Um, a few of their first kind of songs on this, or the first side of this album, is kind of exploratory too. Like the songs are way longer than I would have thought they would have been. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like 70 songs, not super long, or at least not 70s radio songs, but these are deep. I love the part in Black Cow at the very beginning where there's kind of a complimentary vocal part where he's singing like, I saw you in the corner standing there. You were very high. And then you hear these background vocals go, you were high. Like that. That to me is just fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know. It's just that did everything for me in that line right there. So Black Cow's number three. Number two, Deacon Blues, super smooth song. Yeah, I dig the vocals again, the name dropping. I got a name for winners, the Crimson Tide. Got a name for losers, the
Mm-hmm.
Deacon Blues. So, hey, not a bad song though. Even without that, like it's still a solid song. Another long one. Um, and for me, top song is Asia. Title track of the album. These lyrics are sublime. Double helix in the sky. And I find it funny that he's singing like, Chinese music always sets me free. I don't know if that's a joke or if he's being serious, but either way, it does it for me. So yeah, Asia is my top track on the album.
Nice. I looked up some like quirky facts about this album, and apparently the cover model is a Japanese actress. So maybe there's some sort of
Interesting.
correlation there between like some type of like Asian influence or something to that effect.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Asia itself, like the word, is it a name? Is it like I've kind of
Right.
tried to find out, and I think it's really leaving it to the listener to pick what you want it to be. But like, yeah, there is a lot of interesting like mystery, I would say, around this album. Maybe it's not like cult, like straight up cult, classic culture, but like there's stuff to find, I think, in here.
Yeah, and I think like they're like so the guys' names are Walter Becker and Donald Fagen.
Walter and Donald,
And Walter and Donald, two just like
gangs.
nerds,
Yeah,
probably,
right.
it seems like. They were like super, super big time perfectionists. Like they would make people re-record things constantly. Apparently, they had six different guitarists, like for Peg alone.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so I think they were just consistently trying to like push the boundaries of what this. I mean, you got to think too. Like this is 1977, so like studio capabilities are the boundaries are being explored by like Pink Floyd and the Beatles obviously had kind of come and done a few things, but like it's not commonplace for people to be able to go into a studio and take as much time as they want or like really like dial in a sound. And I think that kind of like there's a lot of space in the notes of this album. I feel like even though there's a lot going on, like everything sounds very very like clean.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think their perfectionist ways kind of shine through there. You want to go bottom tracks?
Yeah, so all right, so bottom tracks for me, they all kind of hit the same upbeat Steely Dan vibe. So I put Josie on there. Faster way to close the album. I put I Got the News on there, and again another kind of upbeat track. I also put Peg on there, but I did want to say something about Peg because listening to it, I was like, all right, I'm getting something out of this song. Not a huge fan of it entirely, but the saxophone in the background, fucking awesome. Like I wrote down
Yeah.
like this is giving me CBDB vibes, like in a nutshell. But like it complements the track really well. I wish there was more of it, maybe early on in the album. But yeah, so those three tracks are bottoms for me. But salute Peg for the sax feature.
Fair. I don't know if I don't know for certain if peg is reference to the sexual act of pegging, but I do know that
These guys, maybe.
the band name Steely Dan is named after a dildo. I do know
Yeah,
that.
I
That is
did.
true.
I read
Yep.
that too. It was like
It's like in
some
a ladies magazine
yeah, they saw it
or
somewhere.
something.
Fucking that's why
They're like,
these
that's a
guys are
great name for a
jokesters,
band.
so I wouldn't put it past
Yeah.
them for that Peg track.
Yeah. For my bottom tracks, I have I Got the News. And then like if I really have to pick one, I'd probably do Home at Last as well. I Got the News. There's just something that's kind of like, and I'm going to use my now world famous locally line. It's a little campy for me. The little like xylophone noise, like the dun 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 dun, is a little much. So that one's an actual bottom track, and then Home at Last just because it's not like in my top. But like I said, it's a shorter album. So therefore, it seems like it can be a bit of a shorter review as well.
Yeah.
But I really like this album a lot. Apparently, they like use it to like test sound systems sometimes, just because that's how like good the quality of the recordings are. As far as like mixing and mastering, and probably I imagine like panning and things of that nature. Um, so
And
with that being said,
well, I would say like this would make for good preset music. I mean, it's like
yeah,
it's really good vibes, even if the lyrics are just everywhere. I mean, it's easy listening, and like I would find it hard if you're in an environment with people ready to listen to music and you hear any of these songs pre-show. It's a good atmosphere, I think.
I'd listen to this before a pretty light show.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, has he sampled any Steely Dan? I mean, it's got all the variations of his music that he could use, right?
I
But
highly doubt it, but maybe. All right. So before we get into our top, you want to guess what Pitchfork gave this album?
Do you know when they reviewed this?
That's exactly what I was trying to look right now.
So,
Hold on, let me get
well,
to the bottom of this article.
okay.
Um,
I mean, I'll say while you're looking, they're going to give it
it's
eight or up, I'd say.
it's post 2003 because the
Okay.
person who wrote it says they've been writing for Pitchfork since 2003.
Okay.
So
I'd just say
sometime in the
eight.
relative modern era, they
Yeah.
gave it a perfect 10.
Wow. Perfect 10.
Perfect 10. Mm-hmm.
We should keep track of their tens too, because that's hmm, I don't know. It's a little generous, I'd say. I don't even think this is their best album. I don't think. Like I was looking at their other album, the one that came out before this one, and it was loaded with recognizable tracks. And I was like, I'm kind of surprised, but I don't know.
Yeah, so
The other
this
one?
is their I said third earlier, but it looks like it's actually like their one, two, three, four, five, their sixth album. So I'm
Wow.
gonna do a live correction there. Yeah, Can't Buy a Thrill was their like debut album in 1971, and that song has like Dirty Work on it,
Yeah,
Do It
that's the one.
Again,
Hmm.
Reelin' in the Years. Those are all like big time hits.
Yeah. So I'm
So
surprised that this one gets all the love, but maybe it is like the quality of the work. I would
yeah,
like to
I think it's
think, but I mean, is Pitchfork really? Are they digging that deep?
I
I don't know. Are they
mean,
listening
I
that
think this
hard?
is one of those albums that's like universally revered
Yeah,
by like
yeah,
critics.
I agree.
And all right, so Rolling Stone gave it a. You want to guess?
Uh, well, 10 or
Well, they gave it a
nine.
5 out of
Oh,
5.
5 out of 5. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, they gave it a
gotcha.
5. So with that
Okay,
being said, Anthony, what is your rating for Asia
mine
by
is
Steely
not.
Dan?
It's not that generous. Mine is a 6.5 out of 10. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not factoring in a lot of the time. More of the my listening on this day or whatever day I listen to this. But I mean, it's not bad at all. But it's not one that emotionally is making me like, oh, gotta go back, gotta go back. But the
Yeah.
mystery in it, if I hear the songs again, I'll be like, oh shit, this was those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
Fair.
nothing crazy.
Um, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I
Damn.
really enjoy it. It's something I could probably turn on at any given moment, like doing the dishes, exercising, you name it. I could probably listen to this album. So because of its versatility for me, and also just like the big time instrumentation, I'm giving it an 8.5.
All right. So Blake, no.
So,
Okay.
what?
So
Who?
yeah, exactly. All right. So that was the
And
Asia.
that
Steely
that
Dan?
is Asia by Steely Dan.
All right.
Switching gears, we want to go movie or do we want to do
Let's
Tipper?
do movie. Let's do movie and then we'll go
Okay.
tipper and then we'll wrap this thing up. So, all right. So I had the movie and I think I got Spinner's Choice. And the category from this, where this came from, was the top 100 New York Times. And I had seen this movie before. I had only seen it once, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So not a long time ago by any means. But when I watched it, I had a very similar response that you did, which was visceral, like fucking wow. Where did this movie come from? But it's a dystopian movie, so it's very dark, kind of gray vibes throughout the entire thing. But the plot device is that it's in a futuristic society 2 years from now,
I was
2027,
about to
where
say, not that future.
right? But and it's based off a book too, so it was written way back when. But like the idea is that female women can no longer have birth. It's like child reproduction is not possible in this time, and you're kind of thrown right into the heart of the movie with Clive Owen, and you're with him really throughout the entire thing. And it does some really interesting things with sound. I wonder if you caught some of that, but it's a phenomenal movie watching experience. It's deep and dark, and yeah, second watch for me was just as powerful as the first because I was catching other details and stuff I may not have seen the first time. But like, yeah, phenomenal movie. What'd you think, Trey?
Yeah, usually when we get a movie pick, I usually end up watching it like the day that we're going to do the podcast, maybe the night before. And unfortunately, that's the case for this one as well because I really wish I could have watched it 2 times, and I'm going to watch it a second time because it was really dark. It's very intense. Um, it's got like it's almost like thriller in nature because something bad's going to happen constantly.
Right.
It's one of those movies where like they're constantly going to run to another roadblock in their journey to get this get this pregnant woman to, this
Safety.
potential haven that they
Yeah,
don't even
right.
know if it exists or not. I thought Michael Caine's character is absolutely fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
he is awesome.
Uh, I also want to talk about when he goes to the rich, his like rich friend, which I didn't like fully understand that plot at the very beginning of the movie. When the main character goes to the rich friend to get the travel passes for them to be able to, for him and Julian to go wherever it is that they're supposed to go initially. Um,
What?
and
Go ahead.
they're in like the penthouse thing, and like the guy, assumably the guy's like son, is like playing like with like this like finger Rubik's cube thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to
It's at
remember. Keep
it's
going.
at the very beginning of the movie, but
Yeah.
he looks out the window and there's the pig from
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
the pig floating
From
from
animals.
Pink Floyd. Yeah, and the yeah when you talked about like they did interesting things with sound, do you mean like with the music?
No, so like, well, I'm so glad you brought up that floating pig. We can talk about that in a second. So the things that they did with sound at the very beginning, there's an explosion, and you hear this ringing for like
Oh
a
right,
good
yeah,
three
and
minutes,
his
like true
mhm.
tinnitus sound, and it's kind of fading. It fucked me up so bad the second time that I'm like, I paused it and like turned the volume. I'm like making sure it's not my own ears because I mean it's real,
You're in
like that is
tinnitus.
yeah, but it wasn't me, it was the movie. And they do stuff at other points with like ambient sounds kind of floating in and out, sirens and birds and dogs. There's a lot of dogs in this movie too. Um,
Yeah, it was great to watch with Wafer. He would perk up,
right.
about once every 15, 20 minutes. And I love watching movies like that.
Yeah. So the what you were talking about at the that is a so that the it's a power station in London, I think, or
Right.
England. So I don't know exactly what the thing was that he was holding, but I don't know if they wanted to just like have somebody in power who is basically controlling all the power grid in that area be somebody that he knew or connected with. So I'm not exactly sure about that scene, but I have to
Yeah.
rewatch, see what's up.
The in the single shot, or I don't know if they're actual single shot takes, but like what looked to be like single shot takes were really really cool, especially that one like at the end when
Mm-hmm.
they get caught by the fishes, right? Um, and they're like about to get shot, and they like come around the corner, like it's and you see him get shot by the guy, and like it's like kind of suspenseful, like when that's gonna like I guess rear its head. But
Right.
yeah, just and the general like I mean, not to go like super political, but the concepts of like fascism and like demonizing refugees, and then also just like centering the woman and like the fact that it's not like men can't get women pregnant, it's like women can't get pregnant as like a negative, but then here's this like woman who's like kind of like the powerhouse behind the film, and then also she gives birth to a dog. Everyone assumes it's a boy,
Right.
right, the whole time, and like it's a girl, and like he has that scene with, and I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy with the bazooka who's like laying in the like decrepit building, and he's like it's a girl, and like his whole face just changes.
Like
I thought those themes,
couldn't even fathom that could be.
right, and I thought those themes were really really cool. So yeah, I mean, I really really like that. It was film, but not like I don't know, over your head, which I enjoy. It's
Yeah,
accessible.
yeah, and digestible. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
it's not crazy. Everyone could fathom this type of world, but like the choices and the actions that the people make within that world now can kind of put you, the viewer, in that space and say, okay, what would I do in that case? But um, yeah, and those shots are phenomenal. And there was something about the last shot or one of the last one run shots where blood hits the camera and it stays on the camera until it kind of inadvertently gets wiped away or washed away. They chose to leave that in there, which I mean
right.
makes it real. I mean you're right there with Clive Owen step for step throughout this movie, and I mean it doesn't
That's the
stop
actor's
either.
name. I was trying to remember his name. Thank
The
you.
guy is that you're referring to the guy?
Yeah, the actor's name.
Clive Owen. He's been in a handful of, or at least two movies that I brought in here. But when I see him in a movie, he has that Liam Neeson effect where it's like it's in my opinion, it's just Clive Owen in 2027 doing
Yeah,
stuff, right? But like it doesn't
yeah.
take away from the movie at all. But that he just has that kind of whatever quality it is, good or bad, like it's just Clive Owen again. Look, there's Clive Owen. He's just
Hmm.
he's meant to be here.
Yeah, that
All
makes
right.
sense.
Did the people that you sent the movie to, had they seen it or heard of it before?
I sent it to my dad. He had not seen it. And then I sent it to Joe, and Joe had also not seen it. And I was like, "This is one you should
Yeah.
watch."
Yep.
He also told me to watch some movie that's like a Goonies reboot. He said it's really good.
Hmm.
It's called like Monster Squad. I forget. We were talking about movies.
I think I have. My dogs have watched that movie before
Okay,
because
nice.
I know which one it is. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was solid.
All right,
All right, do we want to move on to Tipper or the Traceable Stamp of Ass?
you pick since I picked
Let's do
last.
Traceable Stamp of Ass so we can go out on a positive note. All
Okay.
right, before we do this, give me 1 second because I got like a little effect thing I'm going to do with my keyboard here.
Okay.
So, for those of you that listened to the last couple episodes, Blake has been doing a segment called the Blake Poljasic Stamp of Ass. Since he is not here and no longer a part of the podcast, I will be introducing my own segment called the Traceable Stamp of Ass. And we're going to wait for Anthony to get back from taking care of a dog situation before we hop into that.
Okay.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Traceable, traceable stamp of ass.
You like that?
That's pretty good. Pretty
I figured
good.
out how to sample on the. Yeah, you can just like speak in the sampler. Anyway, welcome to
Hell
the.
yeah.
Traceable stamp of ass.
And here is my stamp of ass. You know, have you ever seen an escalator when it's broken and they don't let it become stairs?
Yeah.
That is fucking ass. Mitch Hedberg died to let us have escalators that were broken that became stairs. And whenever you see a broken escalator and they're not letting you go up or down it, that is the man trying to keep you down. So that gets today's
Traceable stamp
Traceable stamp of ass.
Traceable stamp of ass.
Pretty solid. I will give
Thank
you that
you.
one. I will give you that one.
Yeah,
Um,
it sucks.
yeah. Well, that escalator scenario sucks too. I have to say.
Yeah,
Though there
Yeah, it
is.
does.
Do you know why they don't let people go downstairs? I mean, the
I don't
broken
want you to explain it
escalators?
to me.
All right, I won't. But let me give
Well, I
you.
mean, go ahead.
Instead of explaining it, I'm gonna give you some shit to watch, Trey. Okay. So I'm not gonna stamp any asses. I'm gonna let y'all do all of that. But I will give you some shit to watch, all based off of this Children of Men. So if you like that, here are some shit. Here's some shit you can watch. Okay. First off, 28 Years Later is on Netflix now, just as 28 Days Later is on Netflix now. So that's a double feature you can watch. In the same vein.
All right.
All right. One battle out after another. Trey, you are going to love this movie, especially after watching Children of Men. So the shit you described of shit keeps happening or they're running into shit one after another, one battle after another, watch that. And lastly, Trey, have you ever seen this series on Netflix called, it's a Japanese series. It's called Alice in Borderland. Have we talked about
No,
this at
but
all?
I've heard about it.
Dude, I fucking love this series, and it's in this dystopian kind of vein as well. But they have 3 seasons, and season 3 just came out, and it's intense. And I would not like to. I don't want to give away. There's not a lot to give away, but like it's just something that you just get sucked into and snowballs one after another. But I would highly recommend Alice in Borderland as well.
Okay, good to know. I like that. So that was
Pinion Rodriguez, things to watch.
Pinion Rodriguez.
Things to watch.
Nice.
like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I see you've been
We're
practicing.
yeah, I've been practicing. I'm messing around with this keyboard. We're just doing things live and direct, as
Live and
some folks might have said.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Cool. Well, let's move and switch lanes over to what's replacing our rides or dies segment today with the Tipper rides
Tipper
segment.
recap brain melt cleansing session.
Yeah. So as a lot of people know, Tipper in a live setting is no more. And Anthony went to the penultimate event in Huntsville, Alabama. And he's picked out a segment from this. So we're going to play that in just a second. But before we do, Anthony, you want to let the people know why you picked this?
Yeah, I mean, so he played 3 nights in Huntsville, up tempo, down tempo kind of journey, and then another breakthrough set. So it was like, what do I want to pick from Almost brought an tempo track just because this is kind of like the last chance that I had to go completely crazy in a concert environment listening to Dave Tipper's music. So like up tempo brings out a certain version of you in a show, but down tempo is really where I like to live. So this track is being called ambivalence, and yeah, this was like kind
Great
of
word.
halfway through the second night, so it was right in the middle of the weekend, and yeah, just pure bliss. So Trey, you want to let it ride?
Nice. Let's see if this sound works. Yes, that's a sick little song. I'm not here to compare the two of the events, but I will say visually, Orion just absolutely takes the cake. Like, there's just nothing beating that full projection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just it's a showcase in every angle that you look or stand or are within that venue. So, yeah, great way. And that was my last show. So, I mean, I couldn't be more pleased with that experience.
Did you hear about our friends that got up on the top of Orion?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I heard about that and saw some videos up there, and I thought about it, and it's like there's nothing like being in the swamp for me.
They got
Like
in big trouble.
oh, they got in trouble. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I
Yeah.
did not know about
Yeah.
that. That's interesting. We can talk more about that off the podcast. But,
Off air, yeah.
But yeah, I thought about like even if I was asked to go up there, like just being in the midst of all those people, that's the spot, But
yeah,
it is kind
I
of
feel
hard
that.
to pass up one view from up there. But comes back
Yeah.
around, I guess. Gotta be careful.
I think it was more so like because it was like 10 or 15 of them just like kind of partying up there and they were having a good time. Nothing bad happened. Nothing
Good,
bad
good,
happened.
good.
But all right, so I selected this clip. I think the track it's the Northerly Island ID VIP. So I kind of did remember hearing it at Northerly Island. Also, he played it at like Texas Eclipse,
So
which I
was
don't think I
this-
ever even.
Do you remember when? Because he played Northern Island a couple times. That's Chicago, right?
No, he only played it the one time that we were there.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
he did two
Yeah,
stops with Pretty Lights.
He did 2 stops with Pretty Lights, but one of them was in.
So this was from the Twilight set that we went.
Yeah, from the one that
Okay.
we went to when we had to run down the bleachers at the last minute because the sound wasn't loud enough,
Oh yeah,
which was a great decision.
that was a great
Um,
set too.
That was a great set. So that's what this song is. That's what the idea is. But I picked this because, and I like, a lot of different emotions on that last night. Like it was a little more sad than I anticipated because it was kind of one of those deals where like for me at least where you'd be having a really good time and then all of a sudden it would be like, oh, this is like kind of like the last time I'm gonna see this. And it's just like it was, I wasn't anticipating having that reaction. But it was a great weekend. And this was the reason I picked this song is this was kind of the last time in this last set that it got a little like melty and like squanchy for lack of a better word. And, you got to really like get down. And then the rest of the set was like beautiful and really pretty. And there was, some really cool visuals like going through each of his like album artwork and it was gorgeous. But this was like the last time you just kind of really got your like mind blown open. So without further ado, this is Northerly Island ID. But yeah, that was it. And then after that, kind of launched into some blissful music. But one of the things I think I'll miss the most about these shows is just like the way this music moves my body.
Right.
There's only one other artist that does that in this scene, and it is the heir apparent McMahon, in my opinion. I think that's the guy. But yeah,
It will be interesting,
We'll see.
to watch like the fandoms kind of flock around and find its footing again. But yeah, there will never be another Dave Tipper. I mean, it is just all encompassing. Every synapse is firing, every neuron is going, every muscle fiber is twitching in different directions. So
right, exactly.
Super special time.
Yeah, lucky to be a part of it. A lot of fun. Yeah. So, well, folks, I think that's it for the duo episode. Do we have any closing thoughts? Sayonara.
I mean, go see live music, go see movies in theaters, go tell somebody about some art you've experienced. Yeah, I think that's kind of
that's
nature
like
of how
kind of
this
the whole
world
point
should
of this,
work, right? Yeah,
and the whole point of this podcast, right?
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
cool. All right,
All
brother.
right.
Well, I will talk to you on the other side.
Sounds
and,
good.
Have a great night.
Keep tickling those keys over there.
Peace. Welcome to the Duo Podcast. It's way better this way. Bye.
Yeah.